Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Bardo Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm giving you guys my review for The 100 Season 7 Episode 12, The Stranger. Now if The 100 is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That would miss more 100 rated content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. Now we start off this episode with pretty much right where we left off from the previous one, where you got Murphy and Amori pretty much kneeling before sheiheda, and pretty much sheiheda bids them farewell, saying that from now on he is in charge of Sanctum and that he will be taking the palace and farmhouse, which at that point Amori and Murphy are left to live in the machine shop. So that's where they go. From there you got sheiheda, who then orders the allegiance prisoners and the children of Gabriel to come forward and kneel. Now the allegiance prisoners automatically kneel by the words of Nikki, but however you got the children of Gabriel led by Nelson, who refused to kneel, as they have taken a solemn oath to never kneel before false gods. Now I actually really like this because it shows how devout these people are, and it shows their loyalty. And it also harkens back to what was said earlier in the season in regard to Indra and one crew, how faith is blind, or whatever. I forget what she said, but it was something to the effect of faith and leadership. So I really like that. It kind of harkens back to that. And sheiheda applauds him for his leadership and the loyalty of his people. However, in the process, due to them not kneeling, he executes all of them after they refuse to kneel and agree to follow their leader's orders. And he then saves Nelson for last, and Nelson just pretty much replies, "Death is life," and then he is executed by sheiheda. Now, this was a very interesting scene. I did like Nelson, but I understand he wasn't a long-term character, and I was disappointed he died, but at the same time, yeah, it was okay. Now, one of the things I really did enjoy though in this moment was that when sheiheda and his men begin executing the children of Gabriel, as she's kneeling, you see Nikki flinch, and I really like that because it shows like a bit of like feeling towards her, how she's not all totally bad. She does have these feelings, because you could tell she wouldn't flinch if she didn't care. She actually flinched as she watched those people die. So it actually was something I really did like. Now, following the execution of the children of Gabriel, we got sheiheda, who is pretty much taking control now. Knight informs him that they found a journal after looking for Clarke and her people, and that they went missing and are considered armed and dangerous. And you got Indra, who is brought forward, and sheiheda tells her to have tree crew clean up the mess that was left behind from the death of the children of Gabriel, which she complies. Now, as she's taking care of the bodies, she realizes that one of the children of Gabriel, the young boy, is still alive, at which point she tells him to play dead, and she moves forward and takes his body and pretty much removes him from the pile. Now, from there, we see that Amori and Murphy have pretty much held up the remaining Sanctum people and Maddie in the place where the machine shop, as well as where the reactor is. So that was interesting. So you got Indra, who shows up, bringing the boy to them, and telling Murphy that he's done a good job as leader, which Amori also tells him. And also, again, I really love the back and forth between Indra and Murphy this season. They are great characters together, and I just am loving how Indra has been getting more screen time this season. Now, a little while later, while they're in their hideout, you got Murphy, who hears someone at the door, thinking it's Indra. He goes to inspect, only to find out that Nikki was sent to trail Indra and followed her to the machine shop. Now, she believes that, of course, that the people are in there, and she threatens Murphy to open it, otherwise she'll kill him. However, in the process, Amori comes up from behind her before she can do anything and knocks her out. Now, once Nikki wakes back up, this is one of the parts I really did enjoy, is her and Murphy have a nice little talk between each other about Hatch, and how he, even though he knew he was dying, he put his life on the line to repair the reactor, because he knew he was dying and that he wanted to do it for Nikki. Now, at that point, he kind of gets her to calm down, and he tells them that Hatch was a hero, and that, after this is all over, we can go and celebrate his life together, which I really like that. Again, this was a great moment. It resolved some issues, and it didn't drag it out. Again, I love Nikki as a character. She's had a great and interesting role this season, and I just love what they did here with her and Murphy. It was a really good thing. Meanwhile, back at the palace, you got Knight, who presents sheiheda with a new throne made up of the remains of all the previous hosts of the primes. Now, I really like that. It was a very dark and cool scene, so I really like that. But at the same time, he presents sheiheda with the anomaly stone and informs him that they found Murphy and the other sanctum people because Knight had sent the tail to track the religious prisoner Nikki as a way of making sure she was loyal. At which point they go to the machine shop and confront Murphy. Now Murphy leaves her behind and goes to face sheiheda himself, saying that no matter what, she'll be safe as long as he does what he needs to do. So he goes down to confront sheiheda. Now sheiheda, pretty much threatens that to him to open the door, otherwise he'll kill them all. Now, at which point you got Amori, who moves back and says that if he tries to hurt John or take the room, she will blow the reactor and kill everybody inside. Now he calls her bluff, saying that she won't do it. However, Murphy reminds him that pretty much they know, the people in there know that they're gonna die either way, so it's they know what's gonna happen. At which point he tells sheiheda that he's pretty much got him in a lock. However, sheiheda fires back, saying that it's not over yet, therefore, and then moves forward and takes Murphy and orders Knight and a few of his men to stay behind to wait the Amori out, and once the door opens, to open fire and kill them all. So I like that, and that's pretty much how their story ends. It was a really great story. Again, loving the sheiheda stuff, and just overall great story regarding Murphy and the people of Sanctum. Now, meanwhile on Bardo, you got Bellamy, who has returned, and he sits down with Shepard, or Cadigan, as his real name is, and they discuss everything that's transpired. And Bellamy tells him that he believes that they can still get to the last war if they get the key and fix it, as it was destroyed. And Cadigan doesn't totally trust him, but he does agree. At which point Bellamy goes to visit Raven and Echo, who have been put in a cell together. Now, they both get angry at him for selling them out, and he tries to explain himself. However, Raven and Echo don't listen to him, and at that point Raven is not compliant with him, as Bellamy tries to get her to tell him where the key is. However, Raven refuses to tell, and at that point you got Bellamy, who pretty much orders the disciples to take her to MCAP to get the information that they need, pretty much retrain her, which I really like that. And I really like the acting there with Lindsay Morgan as she was being dragged out of the room. That was really good. However, then we move on to Echo and Bellamy, as Echo kind of breaks down, saying that she spent the last couple of years trying to get back to Bellamy and joining the people, the disciples, to try to help avenge his death and do everything to help to get back to him. And he pretty much spent the last few months or however on pretty much forgetting about her and giving up on them. And Bellamy tries to explain his side, however she doesn't listen. And now, this is an interesting thing. I did like this, however I really, really didn't like how Echo's acting was. I feel like the whole crying bit felt really fake. I've seen this in multiple shows where people will cry and it just feels fake, and you don't always need these emotional big moments and have them cry. You can have regular emotional moments without crying, and that just was something that I really didn't like. Now, meanwhile, we get some scenes between Jordan and Hope. Now, these scenes I really didn't like. Again, Hope was very, very bad acting in regards to her emotional crying. Again, we don't need emotional moments regarding crying. I get what they're going for, but you got these two, and you got Jordan, who's trying to consolidate her after the loss of her mother. And okay, I kind of get what they're going for, as he's trying to say he knows what she's going for, as one day his parents were there, the next day were dead, similar to Hope. However, I just didn't really buy this. It feels like they're trying to put them in a relationship. However, it just feels forced and unnatural. These two characters just met, and yet this is what's going on. It feels really forced and quick in order to get them to have a relationship together, and it's just something I didn't really like. Now, meanwhile, you got Octavia and Clarke, who are in a cell together. Now, I really love the moment these two characters have together, as you got Octavia, who tells Clarke she can finally understand her in regards to what she's been going through and her relationship with Maddie, as she now has that similar relationship with Hope. So I really like that. It was a good way to kind of rebuild their relationship together and get them, back on good terms. I did feel like it was a tad bit rushed due to the two of them not seeing each other for a bit. But at the same time, I'm kind of overlooking it. But at the same time, it did feel a tad bit rushed. It was okay, but could have been better. But in the middle of this, you got Bellamy who comes in and confronts them. Now, again, you got Octavia and Clarke who get mad at them for selling them out. And Octavia and Clarke believe that he's bluffing and ask him what's his game. However, he explains to them that he isn't acting. This is what he truly believes is best, and that he tells them about his experience on Etheria and everything regarding that. And he tries to get them to believe in what he's saying and tries to use the example of the City of Light and everything that happened with the Primes last season as a way to say, we've been through this stuff and it sounded crazy, but it all turned out to be true. And even though Clarke says, yes, we have been through our mess of craziness, but this is way too over the top, and doesn't believe her. Now, you got Bellamy who then says, come on, just give me the key, give me the information I need, and everything will be fine. We'll get what we want. It'll be an end to all this madness that we've been through. And I know people got mad at Bellamy for this, but it makes sense, because Bellamy's always kind of been looking for a way to justify what they've done and what they've been through, so it makes sense to me that he would go for this way. One thing I didn't like about Bellamy now is that he shaved his beard. I always loved his beard look since season 5. It always made him look more adult and more like a grown-up person. However, the shaven Bellamy makes him look too young and more like a kid, so I didn't really like that. So I gotta take off points there, but that's just me. But at the end, you got Clarke who refuses, at which point you got Bellamy who orders the guards to take her to MCAP as well, much to the protest of Octavia. Now, once Clarke is in MCAP, she begins resisting. Now, I really gotta take off points here, because Eliza Tyler's acting here as she's trying to resist looked horrible. It really was atrocious, I'm sorry, but it just looked terrible. The way she tried to resist the whole thing, it just looked so fake. And maybe it's just me, but I just hated it, and I'm definitely taking off points there. But Bellamy tries to get them to stop because they were warning that she might hemorrhage. However, Cadogan says that if she wasn't resisting this much, if she's resisting this much because she knows the answers, and demands them that they work harder. However, Clarke stops saying that, okay, I'll give you what you want, just make sure that you release my friends and that they are safe, which is kind of the same thing she said at the end of episode 10, only different now. So I really like this. So then moved on to them being back in the stone room, and our group is restrained. However, Cadogan releases them one by one and opens up the anomaly and sends all of them through, except for Gabriel, Raven, and Bellamy and Clarke, and closes the portal after the rest of them. Now, you had Echo say that they are sending all their fighters first, saying that it was smart. However, after they close the portal behind them, Raven realizes that they didn't send their friends to Sanctum, which Cadogan confirms. And, Clarke begins questioning this and looks at Bellamy, but Cadogan says he didn't know about this, and that he did this as insurance, pretty much saying that he knows that Clarke cares about them, and as long as, she'll do what he needs in order to see her friends again, which I really did like. It was a good touch there, and it was a really good way to put the stakes up there. But you got Cadogan who then opens the portal and then sends pretty much everybody else through, and they arrive at Sanctum as sheiheda and Murphy are playing chess, and pretty much everybody from one crew are having a good time. And once they walk through, the group reemerges, and Clarke just looks around at everything and asks what the hell has pretty much happened, and Murphy pretty much ends the episode saying where to start, and which I really like that. I really like that last moment there. Overall, I thought this is a pretty solid to okay episode. Nothing too big, but definitely one I did like. Overall, if I did this episode a grade, I'd give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. It was pretty solid. The Bardo stuff was definitely solid. I love the sheiheda stuff. So 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, guys, that's my review of The100 Season 7 Episode 12, The Stranger. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way you miss more 100 rated content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the back section of my YouTube channel. As always, I've been visiting here with Bardo Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.